information that you and I don't have access to. We knew Congress really couldn't let the golden goose go. But what about the SEC, right? This payment for order flow thing. Apparently, Gary Genslow, the old college professor, he made so many encouraging statements. Other nations around the world have already prohibited the practice. Of course, hedge funds, they don't yield as much power in those other countries. So that also is not going to happen, according to Bloomberg. A couple of things we really rooted for, to level the playing field. I don't know. It just hasn't happened just yet. Maybe one day. Liz Claman, over to you.
You know, you're looking at the Dow pair its losses. Same with the S&P. And Charles, maybe it's from this breaking news that happened in just the last minutes. Remember last Friday when the bottom fell out of the entire stock market after FedEx released an after-the-bell dismal warning?
Hey,
that was exactly
back.
a week ago that sent the markets into a selling frenzy. FedEx dropping 21% that day. Worst day ever for the stock. But this is strange. For the shipping giant, just released first quarter earnings moments ago. Now, this was scheduled to release after the bell.
Congress trades
Maybe this is some type of unexpected release here, but look at the pop intraday.
It showed Pelosi.
What's going on? Well, FedEx quarterly revenue rose 5.5% to $23.2 billion.
They just showed him
EPS came in at
$3.44
per share.
Whenever
By the way, that's
he knew
in line
they were getting ready to make
last week's pre-announcement.
a bill.
But the one-week picture is still horrifying, obviously. But we're going to try and figure out exactly,
for all the chips.
Was it a fat-fingered trade, as they like to say, a fat-fingered
So
release? Sometimes this happens, but earnings usually come out before the bell or after the bell. Can we show the Dow? It just turned positive after being negative for pretty much all of the session. But look, I mean, you could have asked, it's up 9 points. Where's the real bounce? Because very few people can find it as we kick off the final hour of trade. Certainly it's not in equities after nosediving 522 points yesterday in the wake of the